So, guys, following up, I just wanted to do an ENTJ versus ENFJ video. And this time, I really do promise it'll be shorter than the other one. So, with the similarities, they're both leaders of leaders. They thrive in politics and business. They love success, people, and money. So, from a young age, right? From a young age, these are the kids who read newspapers, sell candy in school, and they want to succeed. Like they're probably more so the ENTJ would be academically successful, but the ENFJ would also want to pursue business. Like, they'd be reading newspapers, reading about investments, telling you they want to start a business, like even as a kid, right? And both of them dress to impress because they have that NISE, right? They have NI as their auxiliary function and SE as the tertiary function. Arguably, that is the best function stack to have because they focus on execution. The dominant extroverted judges, so both of them focus on execution. It's just the ENTJ is more logic oriented and or empirically oriented, and the ENFJ is more people oriented, but they have the execution, and then they have the NI, which is the long range, long term planning, and then they have the SE, which allows them to act and think in the moment. So, very, very powerful function stack. These guys really dominate society. Like, pretty much all of the political leaders and businessmen in the business world, it's maybe the INTJs and INTPs who are the tech experts, but there's usually like an ENTJ or ENFJ CEO, like the guy who really knows how to handle the people and how to play business politics. That's usually the ENXJ. They dress to impress as well. So from a young age, they basically like they're into fashion. They care a lot about their appearances. Even if you go to a school where you wear a uniform, these guys will always comb their hair, always make sure their tie is straight and looking decent, have their shirt tucked in, make sure their blazer is clean. So they really, really care about how people perceive them. How people perceive them is very important to them, right? Very important to them. In terms of the differences, you could say with the ENTJ, they're more scientific. I think the absolute best example of an ENTJ is Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. So she's a scientist and a leader, right? So very scientific, but they can also be more snobbish because people are just a means to an end for them. They love people, but it's really the question is how can I use people to achieve my goals? That's what the ENTJs are thinking. And with ENFJs, they're more friendly but plagued by negative emotions. So, for example, if both of them were to have bad experiences, like as a child, like maybe abuse or something like that, ENTJs would be more rational about it and they'll be able to get over it. But ENFJs, they let trauma dictate their life. So someone like Theodore Bagwell from Prison Break, he's an ENFJ. So he's just turned into like a rapist and yeah, a rapist and stuff like that. So I mean, not all ENFJs are rapists, but some of them can be real assholes. Like if an ENFJ was bullied when they're young, they will turn into the biggest assholes that you have ever known. If you're bullied, it's probably by an ESTJ, an ESTP, or an ENFJ. I think ENTJs are less likely to bully people. They're definitely not pushovers, for sure, definitely not pushovers, but they don't really see the need to bully people. They might bully you to maintain the hierarchy, but ENFJs will do it out of a sadistic sense where, it happened to them, so now they have to do it to you. But ENTJs, bullying, again, it would only be a means to an end. So in other words, with ENFJs, the world is divided into good ENFJs who love people and are friendly and are really great guys, and bad ENFJs, abusive, controlling, manipulative assholes, as in the guys who, they date women and they beat them and they abuse them and stuff like that. Those are more likely to be ENFJs who got hurt, right? But going back to the normal ones, ENFJs are friendlier, they're nicer to people, they don't care as much about your status. They care about their status, but not your status. But ENTJs, again, means to an end. So if you're not popular, if you're not cool, you don't exist in their radar. They don't want you to cramp their style. Second, as I said, ENFJs, even the good ones, they tend to be more manipulative and subtle, whereas ENTJs just deal with power. Like when you're in the room with an ENTJ, the feeling you get is that they will get you to do something. Like you don't have to like them, right? They don't really care whether you like them or not. They just care whether they have power over you or not. So countries like Russia and China, that's sort of the ENTJ vibe. Like we don't really care if you like us as long as we're more powerful. ENFJs are just, they lie to you. They want to be seen as good people even when they're bad people. So they'll be a bit more cunning, a bit more manipulative. But with an ENTJ, straight up, you're dealing with the devil. There's no pretense. Like they don't have time to manipulate you if they don't have to. Like, is you thinking and they are a good person necessary? Like, will it affect the outcome? If it won't, then they won't bother. They'll just get what they want and they'll go. But for the ENFJ, even if it won't affect the outcome, they just want to be seen as saints, be seen as holy. So yeah, they're just more manipulative, right? A good example of an ENTJ, another ENTJ woman is Charlie Harper's mother in Two and a Half Men. She has very strong ENTJ vibes. Like she just gets you to do what she wants, even if you don't like her, right? They don't care. Like they do care. Like I mean, ENTJs can win popularity contests, but the question is more of like, do I need the popularity win to win? Do I need this person to like me to win? That's what goes through their mind. Yeah. So I mean, both can be skilled manipulators, but with the ENTJ, they're more frank and you're more likely to know you're dealing with the devil. The ENFJ is the devil, the evil one is the devil, but they don't want you to know that, right? Yeah, so hopefully this video is short enough for you. Um, I think these two types often get confused with one another. If you're still confused about which one you are, maybe just try read more about the NF versus the NT temperament. But I have summarized it. NFs care more about people, NTs care more about logic. So, yep, that's the end of the video.